Well. I am camping again, and this is a busy time to camp apparently, because there's a lot of people here. A lot of people on the road. I've already seen like a bunch of people up here camping. I'm sure I won't have a problem finding a place though. Well, I am back in the Coconino National Forest. I don't know if this area has a very specific name or something, but I've just called it the Coconino National Forest. And the last time I was up here, I don't remember the name of the video, but the thumbnail said The Lost Woods on it. And I called it that because this road network in here is astounding. Like it's a lot of territory with a lot of forest roads that snake through it, and a lot of them intersect with each other. And when you look at a map, it seems like you could easily get lost in here. Although when you're actually in here, it's a lot more straightforward than that, because the roads that are the most traveled are graded like this, and it's easy to tell where you should be going if you're trying to get out of here. But I loved it because it allows you to go in deep enough. Come on, buddy. It allows you to go in deep enough to actually find a private place to camp, and if you have a motorcycle like I do, you can go off the trail and into the woods, which is quite nice. Oh, but let's see. Today I have a topic that I've been trying to figure out for a while. I've tried to bring it up a couple times and it's come out the wrong way. If you're new to this channel, I do 3 types of videos. I do this stuff, which is camping. I do maintenance stuff, which is where I film myself working on my bike and I try to make it helpful. And then I do regular vlogs, which is like a traditional moto vlog where you ride around and talk about a topic. Most of the videos I do are those topic vlogs because they're easy to fill time with. Like if I'm not camping for a while, I can just go out after work and film a vlog and upload it. And sometimes people like those, sometimes people are annoyed by them, but they kind of keep the channel current, I guess. Like I like to do that because I like to have regular uploads happening. And for those topic vlogs, I write down ideas on my phone of like stuff that I think I could talk on for a while, at least long enough to make a decent vlog video. And some of these videos, or some of these ideas that I have for this, are not very fleshed out, and then I try to talk about them on camera, and I try to flesh them out on camera, and sometimes it just doesn't really work, and I think people get the wrong idea. And the last example of this was when I mentioned a channel called Earth One in a video, and said some things about older vloggers, and basically kind of made it seem like I didn't believe that they made very good videos, and that's not really what I was trying to say. Okay, so let's backtrack here till probably, I don't know, 2010 or sometime around there. I think is when motovlogging kind of started. The original motovlogger that I'm aware of, like one of the actual OG guys on YouTube, is called M13, and I think he lived in Taiwan, and he was American, and he would ride around, he would just kind of give his thoughts on cultural differences and traffic problems, and he'd goof off, and it was neat. And he had a decent following. The ones that came after him are the ones that have really performed the best. and those channels started with young men on sport bikes doing young men sport bike antics. You know, they would go out, they would do a lot of speeding and do a lot of wheelies. They would basically just vlog and kind of dramatize everything they were trying to talk about, and they started getting a lot of views, and those channels grew pretty quick. I believe they grew quickly because you had a lot of young men and young beginning riders that were going on YouTube, and partially for entertainment, partially because they wanted to learn about this thing that they were getting into, which was motorcycling. They found these guys and they could relate to them. And that's the important point here, is that their demographic is a demographic that's young, fresh. They were beginning riders. They want to go fast, they want to do wheelies, and they see these vloggers doing this stuff and they relate to these vloggers. And I believe that's the reason why those channels have done so well, is because they are hitting the main, probably the biggest group of viewers on YouTube that are coming from motorcycle content. Now, there's another branch to motovlogging, which is dual sport motovlogging, and I'd like to say that Everride kind of pioneered that. He was probably the first channel that I found that was doing dual sport motovlogging, and he's the first channel I saw that actually did pretty well. Problem is, Everride is a dad, he's a family man, he's a teacher who kind of retired from teaching so he could do YouTube full time, and the people that relate to him are a different group of people, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that it's a smaller demographic than the one that is watching the sport bike guys, and some of that just has to do with personality. Some of it has to do with just the way that you behave on your channel and the way that people relate to you, and everybody kind of forms their own following and their own type of viewers. But it seems like with dual sport vlogging, it seems like the dual sport vlogging area has done particularly bad. Like, a lot of us do this, a lot of us are pretty good at it, but nobody's really watching the videos, you know, like not in comparison to the people that are doing this for a living. And I think the reason why is because we're not roping in those beginning riders, those young guys, and I don't think we need to do wheelies and speed and stuff. I think it's really just more of a personality thing, but that personality thing also, unfortunately, I think it just has to do a lot with age. Like, these guys will see like a 25-year-old vlogging and they're like, hey, I'm a 20-year-old, that guy sounds like me, he's talking about stuff like high school, he's talking about stuff like girls, and I relate to that and I'll follow him. And I think that's the reason a lot of people will stick to those guys. And those of us that are doing this dual sport thing, we're not like that, because we're thinking about camping, we're thinking about safety, we're thinking about stuff that those viewers aren't really that keen on caring about. Sorry, I'm a little nervous about taking a spill, which we'll talk about tomorrow or in the next video. So whenever I see a channel with a new dual sport vlogger, and I think they have a personality and an energy that I think could rope in some of these younger guys and these beginning riders that are really kind of fueling YouTube, if we're honest, I kind of get excited, because I think, you know, these guys have potential. They can actually make this segment of motovlogging perform well. Unlike everything that's already happened, you know, we have guys like Everride, which makes phenomenal videos, but those people that are mainly coming on here to watch motorcycle stuff, they're not watching guys like Everride. It's just a demographic thing. My point is, trying not to go out on a tangent that's not related. My point is, I feel like this segment of motovlogging, dual sport vlogging, I feel like it needs younger guys to start going at it, so that younger viewers who are mainly watching YouTube will see it, relate to it, and start coming in here and subscribing to this stuff. Because I do this, you know, people say I do this as a hobby, and I guess you could say it started like that. But if we're honest with each other, if I'm honest with you, this is a project. Like, I started this because I wanted it to grow. I started this because I wanted to make AdSense money. I wanted to make something that people really like to watch, and that would grow enough to give me a following that would actually be significant and maybe I could do like part-time work and do this part-time, like for real part-time. And it's not going to happen because people don't relate to me. Like the viewers I'm talking about, like I don't even think my content is relatable to them. I think I've had some young guys on here. I've had a lot of young viewers like contact me and tell me they were getting their first bike and I inspired them and all this stuff, and I'm super stoked about that. But we're not getting the rest of those guys, and I don't know what it is they want. Like, I mean, if they really need to see speeding and wheelies and stuff, I don't think they do. I think if somehow something exposed that demographic to some quality dual sport content made by some newer vloggers that I feel are doing good, I think we'd have a chance at growing this whole segment. And without that, dual sport vlogging is going to stay in limbo. You know, Everride's been doing this for years, man. I think he started in like 2012. This guy's in the middle of the fucking road. I think Everride started in 2012. He's not even at 100,000 subscribers yet. It's amazing. Like, the guy's totally be at 100,000. I don't know. I just think that's what it's going to take to grow dual sport vlogging is going to require some younger vloggers with some new ideas. And we got guys like T-Dubs Kid and Dual ADV right now who I think have the most potential. Like, I'm not a professional. I don't know for sure that these guys are going to make it, but fucking T-Dubs Kid is already knocking it out of the water. The guy said he's got like several I'm probably exaggerating. I think he said he had 7 camping videos filmed, like, and he's younger and he's got a beginning bike, which is a huge plus because he can show people that are getting into motorcycling that camping is a thing you can do. It's a big deal, okay? Then we got guys like Dual ADV who run Handle Bars, which are like the world's most common adventure bike, and they're doing good content. The guys have really good chemistry with each other, and I think the only way this shit is ever going to take off is if we promote each other and we work together, and guys that are actually doing good get promoted. And when I say doing good, I mean guys that are doing something that I think that demographic that I think we need is going to enjoy watching. And it almost exclusively boils down to personality. Like, I know that I'm kind of a chill personality. People turn this shit on and they read it. They read it. Did I say that? They listen to it and they're like, they can sit back and relax and enjoy this. And it's just because of my tone and my attitude, I think. But, you know, so maybe I'm the wrong guy. I don't know. But I just hope that clears up some of the comments I made about older vloggers. Whew. Well, I'm going to take a break and get a drink of water because my throat is parched. Well, it is 3:34 right now, and I need to be at camp, starting a fire preferably at like 4:30, because these woods are dark. Last time I came up here, I think I got to a campsite at like 4:30 exactly. I had to race the light to finish the video, so this video might end kind of dark. Hope y'all don't mind, because I don't know, I don't like filming in the dark because you can't see anything and it feels cheap and I feel like an asshole. Like if I upload something where it's all dark and footage is kind of worthless, and well, I don't know, maybe I'll start a fire so at least you can see the fire. But I also kind of feel sometimes like the light conditions in my videos are really consistent. Like how you've never seen me ride in the dark ever, pretty much. I don't know, I just feel like it might be neat to have a change of pace. Like, oh, it's dark, what do you know? I think this is the road that I want. I think this is the one I camped off of last time. It's 4 o'clock. I don't really want to go any further in. Yeah, this is it. So I'm gonna head up here and we're gonna find a spot in the woods. You missed it, but a Jeep Wrangler came around the corner going like 45 miles an hour and just about fucking killed me. Yeah, I think I've been down here before. I'm smelling campfire, So I think there's somebody camping in this vicinity. There's also a lot of smoke. So I'm thinking the hammock goes here, fire pit goes here, bike goes there. We all live happily ever after. It's 4:11 right now. I'm just gonna bust my ass and put this campsite together. I'm just gonna time lapse it, and we'll get right to cooking. Can't find two trees that are spaced correctly. This is a new problem. Really, if I had, like, you know, nicer ties and ropes or whatever, this would be a lot less difficult. Oh, this isn't gonna work. Son of a bitch, man. I mean, this might work. It's gonna be a really taut hammock though. Well, this might have to do it. This isn't too bad. This is gonna have to be the one. I'm gonna go get my bike now. Oh, this has been kind of a messy trip so far. Oh, well, here you have it. I tried to do all that really quick, so I didn't film any of it. But I'm ready to start a fire, get these coals nice and hot, make some coals for that matter, and put my steak on. It is 4:55 right now. I'm pretty sure that sun is going to be gone in like half an hour. First things first, I'll take these stupid pants off. Actually, they're not stupid, they're amazing. If you don't have riding pants, you should get riding pants. I just don't like wearing them on camp. Oh, that is nice. That is really nice. I might not even put pants back on. I would like to start using a fire steel, but that's going to take practice, and in most cases when I show up to these, I just got to get a fire going and get cooking for the content in the video, you know. Okay, let's get this this meat going. Then I'm gonna chop the steak up, mix it with some vegetables. That way I think it'll be easier to cook and easier to eat. You know what? I forgot salt and pepper. Oh well, I guess I'm eating a plain steak tonight. That sucks. Completely forgot. I knew I was forgetting something. Don't you forget something on every trip? Okay, so in this flask, I don't know if you ever see me using this. This has cooking oil in it. I always pack this because you never know, you might need some oil. I'm gonna throw a little bit onto these vegetables, and we are gonna wrap this baby up and stick this in the fire. And then I'm gonna start drinking. You know, some of you might be wondering why I don't process this stuff at home before I come. The reason I don't is because I try to do as much as possible out here in the wilderness. Almost as if I was just riding along on my bike and decided I wanted to come camp. I've got everything I need, the meat and the vegetables. You can stop at a grocery store and get that stuff. And I like to try to do it in the field because I feel like it's just more realistic. The more stuff you do at home before you leave and come out here, the less of a pure experience I think it is. And so that's kind of the reason I do that. I don't think it's difficult to do this. Should have brought tongs though. I'm gonna let that fire die down a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't burn a hole in the foil. I also bring this rag so I can wipe off utensils and stuff. And I can go home and I can wash it and I can reuse it. Also, I'm sorry I ate with knives last time. That was, I don't know, at the time it seemed economical. I had a spork with me, but I wasn't using it. I guess I just kept poking the fire with the knives and I just decided to use them as the utensils. So I apologize for that. When I was editing, it made me uncomfortable to see it. I just imagined a knife cutting my lips. Also, whenever I get to camp, I load this gun because it's a bit silly to have a weapon if it's not loaded. If you're traveling or you're transporting it in your car or something, maybe not, but like if I'm out here and I brought this for protection against weird people or weird animals, it needs to be loaded so that in my sleep I can grab it and fire it at something. The moment of truth has come. It's time for a drink. Now this whiskey that I'm drinking today is called Four Roses, and this is pressurized because my altitude changed. Now, Four Roses is an older brand. It's an American bourbon. I think it started in like the 1880s or something. I've heard good things about it. Thought, yep, you know what? That's a bourbon I've never had. Because honestly, I think the reason I've never bought it is because it had roses on the label. I thought it was some kind of like a flavored whiskey, something like Southern Comfort that I didn't really want to drink. No, actually, it's a pure, straight up Kentucky bourbon. It smells kind of like honey. But let me tell you what it tastes like. It Tastes like straight up alcohol, I think. If I'm being honest. Tried this last night on ice. Had our sip right away, so the ice, you know, wasn't diluting it any. Immediately just tasted like alcohol. I thought, you know what, this tastes like a much cheaper whiskey than it is, because it's 20 bucks a bottle, 22 if you go to the wrong store. And neat. It definitely tastes very much like alcohol. And you don't get very many other flavors. However, since I drink it on ice when I'm at home, as that ice started to melt and water it down, it cut that alcohol burn a lot. And it actually started to taste really good. And it has kind of a caramel, kind of a sweet caramel taste. And I actually really like it. I don't think I'm going to get it again, just because I feel like for the money I can get a higher quality bourbon. But it's not bad. I think if you want to mix whiskey with something and you want a better whiskey, that's probably a good whiskey to choose. That way you're not having to buy like Jack Daniels or something like that. But I'll be honest, I think I'm going to add some water to this just to make it a little more tolerable. I don't know, I feel like it's got more of a throat burn, more of a nose burn than the other stuff that I drink. That's not necessarily bad. Whiskey should remind you that it's whiskey. Nothing wrong with that. But I just enjoyed it more once the ice was melted. I feel like alcohol can be a slippery slope. Because I used to drink, you know, when I was younger. Obviously, I'm young still. I used to drink for fun, you know. It was like I never really was worried about the alcohol causing health problems. I always thought, like, you know, I recover in a couple of days, if that, usually a day. What's the big deal? You know, I'll just drink as much as I want. And I find that as I got older, once I started having like responsibilities, yeah, it becomes a thing that you need to be careful with. Because I feel like if I actually kept bourbon in my house and I drank it every night, it would become a problem. Definitely. And I think it's important to realize like what moderation actually means and to have the self-control to actually execute it. Because, yeah, I mean, you should enjoy it when you do. But if you make hard liquor like this a regular part of your day, your tolerance is going to go up and you are going to end up drinking a lot on a regular basis. And it can cause health problems. Contents of this are pretty hot, but it's amazing that foil doesn't get hot itself. Trying to keep this outside layer on so it doesn't burn holes in my layer that's actually holding the food. Oh God, whiskey? Yes, thank you. Hey, you want to see if we can call my wife? I have no signal. Actually, that'd be funny though. We should call her sometime. What if I called her and I told her that I was in like California and that I wasn't coming back? Would that be a mean prank? Don't tell her. We might do that next time. Four Roses. The whiskey with the roses that looks girly. So the book I brought to read today, which I'm not going to read to you, is Catcher in the Rye. Because I don't know, I think I read that in high school and I don't really remember it. And my wife bought it because she buys books. Random books, it seems like. And I needed something smaller and more compact to bring with me camping, because last time I brought a Stephen King book and I was freaking myself out a little bit. It's hard to sit out here in the woods alone in the dark and read about the mist. I will tell you what. So I'm going to start reading this thing tonight. Try to get through it. I like these little smaller size books because they're a lot easier to travel with on a bike. I don't feel as bad if they get beat up, because when I put stuff in these saddlebags, it beats the shit out of books, man. You should see that 1984 book. It is tattered because I carried it with me a lot. But I think I'm going to get a book called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, because I've heard by a few people that I should read that. sound like something I'd be into. Well, it's supposed to be 45 degrees tonight, and I completely forgot an extra layer. So all I've got is a sweatshirt and a sleeping bag. So I'll be fine, but I think in the morning when I ride out of here, I'm gonna miss that extra layer. Pretty amazing how easy it is to start a fire with just a flame. Every fire I have ever started on this channel has been a one-match fire, as they say. Meaning I tried to light it once, and then I didn't need to relight it. Oh, that looks good. That looks very good. Let's see if this meat is cooked through. This was a New York strip. Yeah, it's probably a little overcooked. That's okay, though. I'm a little embarrassed that I overcooked this. But it's hard to cook a steak when you can't tell what's going on with it. Well, at least the onions and bell peppers have actually helped flavor the meat. Well, what do y'all want to talk about? Maybe that's what I should start doing. Maybe I should ask people for topics. So let's do that with this video. If you made it this far, which I think you did, leave a comment down below and let me know what you, I don't know, a topic you'd like to hear me talk about, something you'd like to hear my opinion on. And then I'll start talking about that stuff at the end of camping videos. How about that? Or I'll just start talking about it as a vlog if I get a lot of good ones. Ugh. Forgot to mix that. Oh, you know what? Last time I went camping was the very last time I'm going to bring 2 Nalgene's. I always drink 2 of these before I go to sleep, and I have no water in the morning, and I get really upset. So I'm bringing 3 from now on, and you know what? I think that's good advice for anybody. You should probably travel with at least a gallon of water, and 3 Nalgene's is about a gallon of water. At least these big 48 ounces. You know, real quick before we exit this video, another use for your extra water is the inevitable cleanup that you'll have to do, because my hands are dirty as shit right now because I have no way to wash them. They're covered in dirt, sticks, rock, ash, and meat, juice, and all that shit. I just hope no animal smells this shit tonight. I'm gonna have to drink enough water to pee all over the place, and then they'll go f with me. Anyway, thank you for watching, and thank you for making this possible. All of you are responsible for this. All of you. This is a team effort.